Hey, y'all. Welcome to our podcast. Is This How It Ends? Where we talk about everything from aliens to politics to conspiracy theories. I'm Nell,
I'm so
and welcome. So, not so normal ish. As of April 14th, the US China trade war has escalated significantly under President Donald Trump's second term, marked by aggressive tariff increases and growing economic tensions. So all this stuff is going on, all this chaos in the world. Like, what are we to do?
what else? What can we do? We're just gonna have to grin our teeth and bear it and live through it. Oh, girl, this is insane.
This is
And
insane.
there's no one to tell him, hey, can you not do this?
I decided that we should just write songs about tariffs.
Okay, I love a good lyric.
That's exactly what I did. Tariffs. What are we gonna do when Wall Street bros start praying? Then you know we are through. What are we gonna do? I want to say tariffs. Woo! Tariffs. Price of iPhones times by 5. So ladies, get your shit. Cause we're running out of time. Tariffs on my mind, y'all.
Girl, that sounded good.
Thank you, girl.
I keep forgetting that you got the vocals,
There's a little something in there, she a little rusty.
She did a cappella, trying to, I love it. Okay.
Girl, so, tariffs. I wrote a song about tariffs. So, y'all, it's been an interesting past week. All the things that's been going on. So, a couple of key developments. The U.S. is raising all these tariffs on Chinese import on an average of 145%, while China has retaliated with tariffs up to 125% on American goods. These measures have intensified between the two nations. So right now, it's a contest, okay? But here's the thing. I was like, all right, what does China import from us? Do we know?
I don't know. I just know our economy depends on China.
Yeah, I just don't see how we have a dog in this fight when we get everything from China.
China gets a lot from us in terms of technology, but I don't think it's all legit though. I'll say that much. But a lot of these businesses, they have their sweatshops in China. Like we import all these cheap goods. Amazon is nothing but China.
Yeah.
Okay, like filter through that and try to find something that's like American made. You cannot find it.
Yeah.
Our bags, like our hand, like everything is run through them. And then if you need anything that's like reasonably priced, like Junie, like his books, when he needs to get them printed, like it's significantly lower if he were to work with China than if he were to work with like an American company, like by 50%.
Yeah. A lot of small businesses have been impacted by this, but Trump has put a 90-day hold on the tariffs, except the ones for China. And that's when China was like, all right, I got you 125%. So first there was the Trump administration had exempted consumer electronics like smartphones and laptops from the new tariffs, providing relief. However, this exemption was short-lived, and these products are now subject to 20%. Plans are underway to impose additional sector-specific tariffs on semiconductors and other tech products within the next 2 months. I heard that Apple was like, oh no, Bish, absolutely not. Got two large planes, flew them over to China and got their stuff. Heard.
One of his goals is to have companies built in the US. And Apple was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Absolutely not.
Like a lot of these companies are like, we're not doing that because they don't want to pay people. The cost of labor is insane. So they're like, we'd rather not pay that. So they're going to find alternatives. They're not coming to the US. Like the Americans are not working for like $2 an hour.
No, absolutely not. So China, their retaliation in response to the tariffs, they not only increased tariffs, but also implemented non-tariff barriers, such as halting exports of critical rare earth minerals essential for various U.S. industries, including defense and electronics. So I heard also like with this tariffs, it affects housing construction. So again, we don't have a dog in this fight. But let me tell
Yeah.
you how petty China is, okay? So I'm at home on the TikTok and I'm like, why are all these videos with like fake Gucci bags and fake like Birkenstocks and fake Birkins and all this? Like, what is going on? Like, just on my time, like back to back to back to back. China said, look at here, American people. I got you. I got you. It's almost like you're a parent. You're a parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you may like the kid, but you can't stand the parent. And just like, the kid can come over. But you're not having no parent play date. I don't like your. So China's like, look, American people, like, we need your business. We can help you out, all right? So they had this kind of like 280-day entry window where Americans can go in, no visas needed. Take what you need to get, take it, then come back. I was like, oh, China, that's petty. Then China was like, here we go. The luxury industry, boom, dead, right? That Birkin bag, that's $38,000. It actually is made in China. It only costs $1,400 to make. What you see on Canal Street, if you New Yorkers, what you see on Canal Street is what you see in Hermes in the orange box, marked up by 90%. And so it's just like, and so then the TikTok, there's something called DHgate, where I guess that's where people get off-brand, I don't know, or the replicas or whatever from there. And I guess on TikTok, they see the comparisons, like you're paying all this money when it's the same thing. And so now what's the stock in like having these luxury items if they're really just cheaply made, and not cheaply made, they're well made in China, but they just don't cost that much.
This isn't the first time that it's come out that the cost to make these products are not that much. My guess is people are going to forget about it. The people who buy from these places will continue to buy from these places and think that somehow it's a flex that they have one of these bags or one of these shades or whatever. They're going to continue doing, because you know why? We like expensive shit. We like to say that we can afford that $4,000 bag, even though we know it costs like $20 to make.
Yeah.
I can afford it. You can't. It's still a status thing. That status thing will still stay.
Definitely. I just feel, first, I felt bad for the people that really bought into it, in terms of like, all right, you spent all this money on these things that you thought were good. But even now on the TikTok, like people are still like buying stuff from these Chinese vendors. And it's like, okay, like the mystique is gone from it. What does it hold anymore? Why does it even matter? We all know what it is now. I have one Louis Vuitton purse, which I bought. It's really small. I've worn it twice. I was just like, okay, I don't get it. I'm a little bougie with my eyewear. However, that's where I draw the line. But even then, I've had stuff for like $10. These were cheap. I don't care about stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't get the point of it. I'm glad
I
I'm
don't
not
either.
in that way.
Yeah.
I spend my money on food.
Same. I've never been drawn to things that are outrageously expensive. And people are like, well, they're gonna last you a lifetime. I'm like, I don't care. I can buy like 10 bags in my lifetime and still not come close to what you spent on that. Like, I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I like about luxury is shopping. Like, not the actual purchasing, not with my money, but rich people shop differently than us regular folks, okay?
The
There's
stores are
somebody,
nice.
look, they shut down the store, okay? This woman I used to work for, I was her personal assistant. They shut down the store. There was a DJ. They give you champagne, and then she didn't even have to like try on the clothes. Like there was a shopper that already had stuff picked out and was trying it on for her. I was like, this is nice.
Okay.
It's
Wait,
nice.
is it they had a DJ just for her or were there like other
There was
people?
other people. I think it was for like
Okay.
private shopping, but child, I don't get no DJ. I have whatever's playing in my iPods, in my water bottle. But it was nice. I like, you know, luxury stuff like that. But
It's how they make sure they know that they're different from us peasants.
yeah, I did feel a little fancy. That's my bougie voice. Like off, out of my sight. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so basically, tariffs is a hot mess. China said, "Let's go." They were like, "Look, you don't need all that. Just buy directly from us. We got you, right? We American people, we looking out,
Mm-hmm.
you know." So
Yeah.
yeah, there's just a lot of strays in this tariff war. Okay, one, the American people, we just getting it left and right. Okay, then it's the housing industry. Now it's the luxury goods. It's just like this is
It's a
just
lot.
evil. This is so chaotic. And then, with the stock market, I know nothing about it, but at one point, like people were like doing the sign of the cross to go into Wall Street. I think
People's retirements have tanked. If you have years out, maybe you'll be fine. But if you're like close to retirement and you're looking and there's been like a 500,000, 100,000 dip, that's a lot of money.
yep.
So now you're going to be like, well, I can't retire now. I can't take this money out now. I need to work a little longer. And
This
if you
is
already made the plans to retire, what are you going to do? Like, there's no backing. Like, if you already quit your job, you told them you're going to quit. Like, there's really nothing you can do. It's hurting a lot of people. It's hurting them now, and it's going to hurt them long term.
yeah, this has to stop. This is crazy. I just don't know what's gonna happen like from one day to the next.
Mm-mm.
Ugh.
And they say that's intentional. That's intentional. You just hit the media, hit us with like all these different things. Like we don't know where to start. We don't know where to look. We're just kind of like it's like whiplash. Like where do you start? Like how do you fight this when there's like 30 different things that need to be addressed?
Yeah, it's a hot mess. So on to some more hot mess, but on a lighter note, I like to call this Homegirls and Outer Space. Do you remember that show, Soph?
Homeboys in outer space.
Brothers down for one another. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was on UPN, underpaid Negroes. That's what they used to call that television station.
I feel like I should find it and see if I could. What is it? Homeboys from outer space.
Yeah, Homeboys in Outer Space. And it was like these two black guys in outer space. Was it one of the guys
Oh,
from
I remember this guy.
World?
I remember both of them. Whatever happened to them?
No, I want to see. I'm curious. I mean, I could look at it myself, but girl, I don't even know why I know this show's theme song. I have the weirdest. I remember things that just don't need to be remembered. Why is this in my mental Rolodex? Okay. So I like to call this Homegirls in Outer Space. Now you know the reference. You know the reference, huh? So April 14th, Blue Origin's New Shepard NS-31 mission made history by launching the first all-female crew into suborbital space since 1963. The six-member team included Katy Perry, pop singer, and first-time space traveler. Aren't they all first-time space travelers? All right, anyway. Gail King, CBS journalist and TV anchor. I want to know how she got into this group chat. Lauren Sanchez, pilot, journalist, and fiance of Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos. Oh, that's his boo, Jeff Bezos' boo. Okay.
It pays to be his fiance.
I guess so. Amanda Nguyen, civil rights activist and founder of Rise. Aisha Bo, former NASA aerospace engineer. All right. And Carrie Flynn, film producer. The mission lasted approximately 10 minutes and 21 seconds, reaching over 62 miles above Earth's surface, surpassing the Kármán line, the recognized boundary of space. During the flight, the crew experienced a few minutes of weightlessness before safely returning to Earth. This landmark event highlighted the growing inclusivity and accessibility of space travel, inspiring future generations and marking a significant moment in space tourism history.
Accessibility in terms of what?
Yeah.
like for the little people, or are they talking about like because they had like a diverse crew? I don't understand. I can't afford that shit ever.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? So they're ringing a bell. And some people are like, ding, ding. Gail looked like I should have called out sick today. Like Gail just looked like I'm too old for this shit. Gail looks like I should have just blocked this group chat on WhatsApp. She was just like, and just
Oh my
walked off
God.
like, Gail, how you get roped into this?
Oprah.
Is Oprah's ass up there? Oprah said, "Girl, you just go in my place." Like, yeah. Now I must say that the ladies look great. The makeup
The
was good.
picture.
The hair was on point.
I mean, was there like a fan blowing?
I don't know. There might have been some Beyonce wind.
Yeah,
Might
it was
have
like
been
some.
some Beyonce
Yeah,
wind.
because I'm like, okay, because the hair, everything looked really good.
There's so much to unpack in all of this. Okay, the suits were snatched. Okay, like the ladies looked good. They must have been some Lululemon space suits. I don't know. I just
It was
find this
definitely designer.
definitely designer, but made in China. Okay,
I bet you
that's what.
Bezos' fiance was like, we need to look good, okay? We need to look amazing.
There's just so many things to unpack. First of all, how we talked about distractions. So this is definitely a distraction. But not too long ago, there was those people that were lost up in space, and there was a lady who was
Yes.
for a while. And then when she came back, people talk about how old she looked. She was lost up in space. And we're gonna talk about
She
her
was
looks.
older to begin with. Are you serious? People were talking about, and I meant to do like an update on that, and I never got to it. But people were talking about how old she looks.
Yes. I'm like, what?
Garbage. They're all garbage.
Trash. Just trash.
You could not achieve what she achieved, and like that's what you're gonna.
If I'm lost up in space, there's gonna be a whole full gray head of hair. Of course, I'm gonna look older in age. Like, what's wrong with people? And so now we have these women going into space, all shiny, Beyonce haired and wind and snatched and tucked. Like, oh, we're doing it all for womankind. Is this what womankind looks like? Oh my goodness, I'm turning into a feminist. It's happening, okay? At this point, all right. I already have the collar and the glasses. It's giving
Oh
feminist
my
already, okay?
God. What kind
It's
of
just
shoes you got
like
on?
I have some fuzzy purple slippers.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Oh, my bad.
I just think this is ridiculous. And then you want to talk about accessibility. These are all like people with money. They're
Oh, people
all
with money.
thin people. These are all, as far as we know, healthy people. What is this? They went up there for 10 minutes. It was, oh, space is nice. This is cute. Like, oh, I'm going to space. Let me make sure my eyebrows are done. I mean, it's cool to say, hey, I've been in outer space, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like there's so much going on, and then with the rollback of DEI and all these other things, and like, oh look, we're putting women in a spaceship for 10 minutes. Ooh, look how
Which
progressive we
costs
are.
millions.
Which costs millions, right? Look how
Yeah.
progressive we are, like we take away your rights, but you can go and fly your
Yeah.
ass into space. I canceled my Prime, but I still order from time to time.
I think sometimes you might have to,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you live in a city and you don't want to pay the outrageous price for stuff. I think sometimes it happens. I think what's important is just not buying every single day, like everything you could think of. Ooh, Amazon, Amazon,
Oh, look,
Amazon.
that used to be me, okay? And then I like the little grocery delivery too, as well. So I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So now I'm buying less stuff because trying not to be such a consumer. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Same.
Yeah, everything's trash. Like, we don't need much to survive. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, did get this handy dandy microphone holder though from Amazon. So
Well,
you know,
this too.
yeah, and this microphone.
I know.
You know who's really singing the blues? Target still. Target is
Yes.
still. They
Keep it
got me
up. We're
Target's
gonna keep our
ass.
foot on their neck.
Keep it up. Keep it up, people. I'm so proud.
I'm glad they're still singing the blues. I go like if I have to go to Target, I know exactly what it is that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll get it. Normally, like you kind of like roam around, like
Browse around. Next thing you know, you
yeah,
got
no,
$50 things, in your
and I'm
cart.
out.
Yeah, look, I don't even go to Target like that. So, I mean, the Target downtown Brooklyn, there was like 2 shootings there. So,
Like
yeah.
recently?
No, this was like maybe like a couple years ago, but I just try not to go into that Target at City Point. Mm-mm.
Oh, that was
No.
at City Point, not the one in
Not at the
downtown.
Atlantic Terminal. No, not that one. As
That
far
one
as
doesn't have anything.
Oh yeah, never has anything, never at all. It's
Yeah,
awful.
it is
Um,
awful. Shopify made an announcement. So if you're the manager at Shopify and you want to hire someone, you need to prove that AI cannot do that job.
whoa.
So yeah, you need to prove AI cannot do that job before they will approve that headcount.
Wow.
So it's going to come to a point where like so many jobs are going to be outsourced to well, they're already being outsourced to other countries. Now they're going to be outsourced to AI. Like, what are people going to do? Like, there's only so many businesses you can start.
Yeah.
Like who's going to buy your shit? Shopify.
Yeah.
People are not going to advertise because they host a lot of stores. Like
hmm
people, they're not going to host anything if no one's going to buy their crap because we ain't got no money.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
entertainment and it's just all of that. If people have no money,
Hmm. Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Y'all,
Agree.
this is some interesting times ahead. Yeah, just everything sucks. And that's it for normal, not so normal-ish.
All
Yeah.
right. So we are going to get into the conspiracy corner. Janelle, have you ever heard of the birds aren't real conspiracy?
No, I have not.
So it's a conspiracy theory where folks think that birds are actually government drones spying on us from tree branches and power lines.
What?
Yeah. So it started as satire. It was this guy, Peter McIndoe, a college student in Memphis, Tennessee, back in 2017. It began as a parody of conspiracy theories, not an actual belief that birds are drone. Peter McIndoe, he literally made up the idea on the spot at a protest and it just took off. He held up signs that said birds aren't real. People are like, wait, what? Go on. And the internet does what it does best. It just
Oh
spiraled.
no.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Yes. So even though this is how it started, right? Just a parody. He leaned all the way into it. He created fake historical timelines, like the claim that the government killed all real birds between 1959 and 2001 and replaced them with surveillance drones. He ran a full-blown merch line. He gave fake interviews. So this man made a lot of money off of this, like merch. Like he created merch. He gave
wow.
interviews on this, but in 2021, he broke character and admitted it was all performance art meant to mock disinformation culture and highlight how wild conspiracy rabbit holes can get. It was basically a satire about how people will believe anything with the right font and a grainy photo. So this man, you mean to tell me this you went 4 years doing this, but there's also a conspiracy that the government got to him, so that's why he had to do this. For him to do this and all like that's wild to me. I would have never come forward. I would have continued making money.
Okay. Story time. This is real. It's happening in real time. So
Okay.
where I work, we have this pigeon. And she made a nest. And for one of the classes for the students, they rigged up a live feed. So we're watching this pigeon in real time. She laid her little
Mm,
eggs. The baby daddy, he's there. I
okay.
named her Mama J. And so there's a live feed. And so me and my colleague, we're really into this. Like, oh, Jay,
Like a pigeon live feed? Like
that's
they're
a
eagle
pigeon
live
live feed,
feeds.
girl. A pigeon live feed. It's
There
true.
there were ones for eagles. Like that's cool. Like pigeons, New York City pigeons.
Because it's pigeon. She has a little nest in one of the planters. And
Pigeons. Okay.
so that's where she's left it. And so today was a good day because one of her babies hatched. And Papa Jay's there. He's a good co-parent. He's there. He sits on the egg too. Yeah, but the little baby pigeon was born and I'm here for it. But is that pigeon sent to spy on us? I don't know.
Yeah.
She's real cute.
Yeah. But that's the conspiracy. But fast forward to 2025. Actually, this was in 2024 when this was announced. So scientists at MIT, doing what science does, they built insect-inspired micro robots, the tiniest, fastest, lightest robo bugs ever created. These little things, they can flit, they can flurry, and they can even pollinate your flowers like real bugs, which sounds.
Watch Black Mirror. So
I know. One of the episodes I saw that. But yes, so this is what MIT is doing. This is how conspiracies are born. Okay?
Yes.
So now I'm like, okay, these people that are saying birds aren't real, why are they saying this? Like, how was this born? Like, even though the guy was like, it was all he made it up, but I don't know. It's like,
know, Soph. I don't know, because these New York pigeons, back in the day, in our younger youth, you walk in the walkway and they used to fly away. Now, they're just all bold, just standing there. Maybe they're sizing you up for the government.
I don't know, maybe because as if you ever do long drives, you'll like randomly see like just a bunch of them just kind of circling, and you're like, why are you all in the same? And they're like all in the same power line, like all this space, and you all got to be here. But anywho, I don't believe I don't believe in that conspiracy, but you have to think like these things come out of somewhere. Like for this thing that these scientists are creating, yes, it's for the environment, but then it's like, maybe not. The government might be like, hey, we can use this for other means.
Yeah.
And we know how tech goes, right? Like you create something that's meant to do good, like, like a robot that can mimic real insects for pollination. And the next thing you know, it gets bought up and then they're doing all sorts of shit that like this is not what I asked for. This is not what I created this for, but that's what's happening. So birds aren't real might have been satire, but bugs ain't real. I'm gonna give it 20 years and we'll see. There might be a documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
There's like a ladybug that's like always in my bathroom. Like they just come back and it's only in my bathroom. Why?
I don't know, girl. I mean, do you be talking about your thoughts and plans in your bathroom?
I don't.
Okay.
So I'm not sure why they're always in that bathroom. I should add that this birds aren't real thing. It's like if you ever go on Reddit, there's like a whole subreddit devoted to it with like millions of like followers. And they'll always like post things that like, oh, this is why it's not real, blah blah blah. And there was like a picture where someone like it was a pigeon on the ground dead, but you could see like wires sticking out of it. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that that's used for that. I'm pretty sure, but I don't think all birds are fake. But whenever these things come out, I'm like, how did this start? How did this start?
All right, now I got to give pigeons the side eye. Ladybugs are the ops. I'm just saying, just
be careful
nothing
out there.
Is safe. Nothing.
Everything is trying to kill us. Our government, the environment, science. Especially science.
Especially. Speaking of science and robot bugs and things trying to kill us, if you're done, Soph.
Yep.
That's a segue into talking about Black Mirror. Did y'all watch it? The new season 7 came out. I've been waiting, y'all. I was just Tyrone Bigum's like, when you coming out? When you just scratching, okay? Because the 2 seasons were total ass, okay? Just they weren't good. The first 3 seasons were good. when it was like the actual like British show, and then it got all Americanized, and they had like people that we've seen before. I don't see no Miley Cyrus. Like, no one asked for that. But there are some good episodes, you know, even in the seasons that I said sucked.
We should say spoiler alerts, right? So if
Thank
you haven't
you.
seen it, maybe don't watch this yet.
Yeah, don't watch it. But if you have seen it, continue, right? So the 7th season came out on April 10th, and it continues to explore the dark intersections of technology and society. I mean, kind of like this podcast, just saying shouts out to us, through 6 standalone episodes. All right. So this is like your first time watching Black Mirror, right?
Yes.
What did you think of it?
This is why I know we say like I should watch Black Mirror. I should watch Black Mirror. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch Black Mirror. I think the thing is the areas that Black Mirror explores, right? It's things that we know about. It's things that we read about that could come about, right? So we know that these things can happen, might happen, but to actually see it in play is just really disturbing. Like I think sometimes I'm like, yo, we have gone so low as a race, like as a human race. We've devolved to like just I just think we're trash. But then when you watch it and you're like, we can go even lower. I have like this amazing technology. And your only thought is we're gonna make so much money out of this. I was so disgusted. I love Tracy Ellis Ross, but I was like, yo, what is
I
wrong
wanted
with
to chop her in the throat. Okay, that's how you know someone's doing a good job. Okay, because I wanted to chop her in her throat. Okay, and I am not a violent person.
Oh my god, it just
but you-
really. I'm just like I can't watch the depth that we will sink to.
look, it is sad. Like I saw something the other day. Well, you know, like men and blow up dolls. That's always been like a joke going around, right? And we'll talk about this more too. But now they have these $150,000 AI dolls that, you know, for men. And it's like, oh, you know, you can even interchange her face. Like, you know, there's like the metal, it's like basically you peel off the face, there's like medical things, and you can have a new woman, just like switch the face. And it's just like, we're already at a loneliness crisis. Birth rates are dropping, people aren't getting married, like, and now you're going to create these dolls. First of all, in this economy, who's going to have $150,000 for these dolls?
They're gonna find it. Finance, Klarna.
Firm, okay. You know, and I was just like, this is sad. Like, you got like a doll. This is sad, man.
First of all, they want to complain if a woman asks for something nice or to go out on a nice date, but you're gonna spend $150,000.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, if we want to go to Applebee's, you know, then it's like, oh, it's a problem. You hoes just want too much. It's just, you hoes won't be spoiled.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure those things are a subscription based too, right? Because you buy it, but now there's a subscription for it, right? For the voice, for the movie.
So what is even the like, how does this work? Okay, so like for like $30.99, all right, she'll give you 5 compliments a day. You can say 5 curse words to her a month, and I don't know what kind of activities, but she'll like tickle your balls. That's the $30.99. That's for like the platinum package. Look, I'm getting ahead of myself because we're talking about the actual episode.
Okay.
So if you're saying overall you liked the show.
Episode 1 made me think it was not something I would watch again.
It's creepy.
It was creepy. And I do say just the depth we've sunk, but then to the other side though, there's this couple, they really love each other, and the guy adores his wife, so he's doing everything he can to keep her alive. But damn, like I had to fast forward through those parts. I don't know exactly what he did, but I was like,
yeah, that was tough. All right, y'all. So Soph is referring to the first episode. So there's 6 episodes. There's only 3 that I actually kind of liked. So we'll talk about those. So Soph is talking about the first one, Common People. And I just want to say, before this episode came out, before we even knew, like, you know, we had talked about this with the whole like sentient beings and what would happen if there was a subscription service, just like Netflix. I'm just saying, be knowing, right? And so the premise is Amanda, a school teacher. Sorry, a little rant. So Rashida Jones was in this, and I have a personal beef with Rashida Jones. She doesn't know it yet. I just feel like this nepotism gets you very far. And I just feel like she's just very dry. Just very dry. And even in comedies that I like, she's casted as like the serious dry person in there. Like, they don't even cast you to be funny, sis. You were the anti-funny. Whenever I just see her, I just know I'm gonna need a cup of water. Like,
I like Rashida Jones.
You like her?
I do like her.
I just do not. I just don't.
She is very dry, but she's meant to be.
I don't find her very talented at all. However, she was very good in this. So
okay,
I will give her that. And she also wrote an episode. I think she's written some episodes. I think she wrote this episode maybe. So, but she was good in this though. I liked her in this. But I'm just saying, I just normally when I see her, I'm just like, oh, yeah, not to laugh when I see her. She suffers a brain tumor, prompting her husband Mike to enroll her in Rivermind, a service that replaces damaged brain tissue with synthetic material and streams her cognitive functions from the cloud. As Amanda becomes increasingly dependent on the service, their lives spiral into a dystopian subscription model where even basic human experiences come at a cost. Everything is streaming. Everything is so expensive. And because I just feel we're all overstimulated, like they bombard you with commercials, so you have to like pay just to have some peace if you want to see your show, to escape from reality. And so it's just absolutely ridiculous.
That's like that line. What is it? Something about like you'll own nothing. You'll own nothing and be happy or something like that. Everything is streaming based. Even the cars that you're buying. Some companies are saying if you want to go above a certain speed limit, you got to pay for that.
Oh,
right. For some self-driving, if you want self-driving, you have to pay for that. That's a subscription.
Heated seats too. I heard of that too. Like,
yep, you got to pay for that. So everything that you want, it's a subscription.
This is all a scam, y'all. I wish we could all together just be like, forget this. We'll do what we used to do to entertain ourselves at this point, because this is ridiculous. But basically in the show, you just see the decline of this couple, because first they start out with a package that was sold to them by their company rep, who's Tracy Ellis Ross, who did a bang up job. Because let me tell you something, okay? Like, she was annoying as hell. I hope she gets an Emmy for that role. Whatever, she did really well. But even likening to like the healthcare, issue with healthcare, where you have to pay all these exorbitant prices just to stay alive, and so just like with insurance and all of that, and you just saw how this couple deteriorated because they needed these subscriptions to help her stay alive. And every time like they would have one package, then the package would upgrade. And so then you keep on upgrading, keeps to cost you a whole lot of money. Now, this couple didn't make a lot of money. She was a teacher. He worked in like a welding factory or whatever. And so when he eventually loses his job, he starts doing things to like online for money. And these are like humiliating things. He's hurting himself. He's torturing himself to get money to pay for this subscription. So definitely it's also talking about the depths that people go to get money to like see these things that you think you need. Well, they needed it for
they just to live, like just to live. Yeah. And you have to decide like what's more important.
Yeah, it was really sad just to see someone deteriorate like that, and the husband, you working all these hours, you can't even enjoy life, so.
Yeah, I think for me, it was just that we had this amazing tech. And this company it didn't care if you died or not. Like it just wanted money It just wanted the money. And I mean, that's what companies are about, right? So I guess that's what society is about. It's an exchange.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so awful.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we create these like great things that can, extend human life and make your life better and just not have our foot on someone's neck? You know what I mean? Like, it's just have them go through so much just to be able to afford it. And again, to your point, that's healthcare,
Yep.
right? That's healthcare where people are deciding, do I want groceries or do I want my meds?
Yeah.
It's just
Do
awful.
I do I take a ambulance or do I just bleed out in, an Uber? Yeah. These are some awful, awful times.
The worst. I mean,
And
they've always been awful times, but now it's as it gets better, it gets worse.
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's just like again, even like AI. AI is a great tool, but it's been perverted and tainted and
And it's
now it's
taking your
like,
job.
like us against the robots, it's like, oh, like now you compete with robots for a job. Like you were just talking
Mm-hmm.
about, like these are crazy times. So that was a good episode. Now the next episode, baby, called Bete Noir.
Is that the second episode?
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
the premise is Maria, a confectionery research, reconnects with Verity, a former classmate, during a product focus group. As Maria's reality begins to shift inexplicably, she suspects Verity's involvement. The episode delves into themes of revenge, memory manipulation, and the consequences of past actions.
Mm.
What you think of this episode, Soph?
I liked it, but Maria was not innocent. Although Verity, is that her name? She was
Mm-hmm.
a psychopath. But you can kind of understand where she's coming from, though.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, she didn't need to be that extreme, but you could kind of understand where she was coming from. Like when she eventually laid it all out there, and then to find out that Maria was behind it, you're like, karma, bitch.
Yeah.
But I love the concept, like, because it played on the whole Mandela effect, right? Like how everyone remembers things as being one way,
Yeah.
but it's not. Like, like mirror, mirror on the wall, like, but it's actually magic mirror on the wall, or like
Yeah.
the Bernstein Bear versus the Bernstein, so all of that. So it played, or like people remembering that Mandela died in like the 80s, when nope, he did not die in the 80s. So a lot of that. So it played on that. And I thought it was pretty cool that this woman was that smart that she tapped into these like different dimensions, right? Like, because there's a theory that there's so many different dimensions that you are everything and all things, right? So at
Mhm.
different points. So like you could tap into, there's a dimension where like I might be a movie star, or another one where like I could be a scientist,
You'll
or
be a
when,
scientist self in
or
another dimension.
yeah, or there's one where like I might be homeless. Everything that can possibly happen is happening like in different dimensions. I like that episode.
I liked it too. Yeah, I wonder what I'd be in different dimensions. It also reminded me of Lovecraft Country.
Yes, that
Just like,
woman.
yes, that was a really good
That
episode.
was.
I just we don't need Jonathan Majors. We
We
don't we don't we
don't.
don't need him. But HBO, what were you thinking? You need to bring this show back. We don't need Jonathan
Yeah. First of
Majors.
all, he died in a day, so we could cast someone else.
Yeah, back before all this happened, I was like, oh, he's gonna come back. They're gonna find a way, whatever. They can do whatever they want. But no, we don't. We'll find somebody else to do it. Despite Jonathan Majors' comeback on Black Tour, no, we
He
don't.
made a. You say he made a comeback, but then he still is his comeback still comebacking?
No, actually, because that movie made $5 and now it's straight to. He went all the way. He went to Zeus Network. That's all the way black. Zeus. Zeus. Anyone that's on Zeus has no soul. If anything has brought black people back, many, it's Zeus. It is Zeus. That's how
Wow.
low. That's how his movie was distributed through Zeus.
Mm.
When he was on, he would never be associated with Zeus. Just saying, go on the Black Aunties, Auntie Sherry, Keke Palmer.
Tangent. I saw
I was
her
already
Kiki's movie with
SZA.
SZA. I
Is it
enjoyed
good?
it.
Okay,
I
I
enjoyed
haven't
it.
seen it.
You know how I am, so
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. Yeah,
Mhm.
it had Friday vibes,
Okay.
but yeah,
All
it was
right.
Kiki is funny. Like I forget, like she's she's funny. I know with everything that went down with her. I know, but
I know. Even before everything, I like Kiki in theory. And I feel that she deserves all of the accolades. That's what I will say. But I can't stand Kiki just as like I don't want to hear her sing. I just feel like she just does like just all the time. Like she just does a lot. But I still want the best for her. She's a young Black woman out there doing it, and she looks great too.
she
So
looks amazing,
and she stay having a job. Okay, she
mm-hmm.
stays having a job, and so she's gonna
Yeah.
be all right. But anyway, I thought it was kind of cool because there was some tap into like witchcraftery and like tech as well.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like witchcraft and science. Just
yeah, that gives me a little tingles. Okay, like, like ding, 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 you know, like yeah. So I thought that was really cool. But you know, Verity, which you know, she had get back on her heart and spirit, but you know, the white woman tears, man. Verity just you don't need witchcraft for that. Just that just comes in the
the whole
DNA.
like, why are you yelling at me? I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I literally had that. I've had that happen to me before. Yeah. So it's just like you get gaslit sometimes. And just as Black women, it is not easy for us to navigate these spaces. Our humanity is not allowed. And so you get stereotyped as soon as like people see you. And then you have to work hard not to be a stereotype. It's just all these things.
Yeah. Or anger is seen as a threat. Like we can't get angry.
Yes. And
Like,
so
what, you think I'm gonna throw the chair at you if I get angry? I don't understand.
I don't understand.
Think I'm gonna fight you? Like it's just anger. It's an emotion you have. Everyone has. Like I'm entitled to express it.
You know, we just don't have the same liberties.
They get all the chances.
And they get a lot of chances, and you can't even respond. You can't meet people where they're at because they're gonna look at you and your behavior. You know, so they definitely did a good job at showing that. But yeah, also being careful how you treat people because it does, you know, you made this rumor, it impacted her life. Oh, kids can be cruel.
Kids can be cruel, but I think I don't know if we need to teach kids better, but kids are getting worse.
Girl, kids are awful. Okay. What mall was it where it was the mall in the Bronx. This was like a few weeks ago where it was around spring break time. I don't know. But they showed all these kids in the mall. And like fights were breaking out and all this other stuff. Every time I see like a pack of like teenage kids, I just cross the street.
Every time I go to the Bronx, I'm like, how quickly can I leave?
It's just like the place where sorrow was born. It's just, is there any happiness there?
Maybe.
It's just miserable and dank. I never have to go to that borough again. But yeah, I liked the way that this episode ended with the Black woman on top. She looked like Beyonce.
She did. I was thinking the same thing.
And I was like, okay, girl.
I was like, all right.
She was giving Beyonce, and I was like, all right.
But did you see so apparently for the whole the Bernie's chicken versus Barney's chicken?
Oh yeah.
So they were saying how like Netflix, for some people, they were seeing Bernie's chicken and others were seeing Barney's chicken. So like they were online arguing over it. I was like, oh, that was kind of smart.
That is clever.
I'm like, okay, Netflix. I like
All right,
that.
that's some good marketing, Netflix.
So yeah, it was. I enjoyed that episode.
That was a good episode. And did you see the third one, Hotel Reverie?
I did not, but it's fine. I like spoilers.
Okay, all right. So, my girl Issa, patron saint of us awkward Black girls and women everywhere. Shout outs to her. I'm a fan of Issa's, but Issa can't act. Issa cannot act. I had hopes for the sis. Okay, I just want to say, let me start with the good. Okay, she looks beautiful. Her ponytail was
Always.
ponytailing. Her eyes, she has these beautiful big eyes. Like Issa just looked great.
She looked moisturized.
Looked moisturized. Let me. Issa's a Capricornian's queen glow up. Okay, looky here. Like I love the little TWA, but sometimes it's a little dry. Now she has, the ponytail and she looks great. Issa looks great. That's the best thing I could say about this episode. So let me give you a little synopsis of what it's about. So Hollywood star Brandy Friday, that's Issa, immerses herself in a remake of a classic film using advanced AI technology. As the virtual world malfunctions, Brandy forms a deep connection with her co-star, leading to a poignant exploration of love, loss, and the blurred lines between reality and simulation.
That's right up my alley.
People wanted to compare it to, I don't know if it was which season it was, maybe the third season. So there was another season where there was a episode called San Junipero with a queer couple. So I guess it was kind of like that's what they're comparing it to. But San Junipero actually was beautiful. It was beautifully shot. It made me cry. This, look, I'm not gonna lie. When I watched it, I fell asleep. And then the next day I continued it.
Oh, you really fell asleep.
I did really fall. Look, first of all, I was on the sofa. I don't know how I ended up in the bed in the morning, but it was magic.
Okay.
Yeah, it just, her acting was just real bad. It was actually a pretty difficult role because you are a real actor, but you're in this AI world. It's a replica of the movie, but to the people in the AI world, it's their reality.
Oh.
Yeah. And so
Interesting.
the Issa character, Brandy Friday, she has I guess those little things that she put on the side, and then she enters in, and the director is giving her notes, whatever. But everything is kind of based off of, okay, how the movie goes. And so things were happening that would cause it to go off course. And so there was some kind of glitch that happened, and then the main character and Issa's character end up like falling in love, whatever. And then Issa kind of wants to stay in the world with this person. So yeah. Anyway. But I thought it gave a good commentary on like parasocial relationships, because we are a lonely group of people, and so we overly identify and connect with people on the internet, and sometimes we don't know what's real and what's not. And now it's just creating a whole bunch of weirdos, okay? A whole bunch of weirdos that don't know how to interact without a screen.
There's a trend of people falling in love with their chat box. That's a thing. And not just teenagers, but like full grown adults. Like they are in relationships with their chat box. I'm gonna find that article. Maybe I'll talk about it on our next episode. But it was like this grown man, like it was really weird.
Yeah, I mean, me and ChatGPT, she's cool. She's cool. She gives me, good advice. I ask her about some personal things, or just to confirm some things for me. I have a therapist, so I'm not relying on ChatGPT shit. But I could see how you can get wrapped up in it. But it's not the same as having
Yeah.
Someone with you.
It's because that, I use ChatGPT a lot, and it learns like your personality in a way. Like, so the way it talks to you, the way my ChatGPT talks to me is really creepy. Like, even though it's like I'm reading what it's saying, but I'm like, this is how I would talk to one of my homegirls, like this is like, it's just, it doesn't feel like remember like Ask Jeeves? Like, it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't give you that vibe. It just feels like someone is like answering your questions, and it feels authentic.
You're right, because one time it was like girl, and I was like, how you don't tell me girl? That's just like girl, like type, and she was like girl. I was like, ChatGPT should better know.
And then ChatGPT would make the comment, and then like put the the nail thing.
The pain and nail emoji.
I'm like, yes, okay.
There's a song on TikTok where this guy was like, why do you always speak to me in Ebonics? Stop speaking to me in Ebonics.
but and then when did we talk about it? Where like where I mean it was around death, but like how people, like, you can take someone's personality and create a whole chat bot. You could scrape their social media, their text messages, and you could like create a replica of them as a chat box. Like, I talked about that guy who was talking to his dead girlfriend, and if you saw the exchange, it looked really authentic. It looked like he was actually having a conversation with a real person and not a robot. I mean, there were some things that were kind of off, but for the most part, he said it felt really real. And if you read that exchange, you're like, oh my God. So I mean, we're gonna have robot marriages soon. That's gonna be in the Supreme Court in like 10 years. Can you marry your chat box?
I mean, parasocial relationships, that's what this is all about. Like, I'm curious about people's lives. There's definitely this one woman I am obsessed with. I've talked about her before, who she's on YouTube. Shout outs to Sansaray, okay? I'm obsessed with how this woman is surviving right now. Like, she's living in a hotel. Like, she's trying to get her son back. There's a lot going on. And every day she comes on to beg for $200 to cover hotel and give her some food. And every day she comes on at like 10:30. I checked. I'm interested in this person's life. Like,
did you give her some money?
Absolutely not, girl. There's so much going on with this woman. There's mental illness. Like, there's a lot. Like, you're seeing it's actually unethical for me to watch. You're seeing someone's decline. Like, there's delusions. She's lied about everything, and so she's alienated everyone. All right, I'll go through the rest of these quickly. So I did see the rest of them, but there's one called Plaything, where a former games journalist becomes obsessed with Thronglets, a virtual pet simulation game. His deepening connection with the AI creatures leads him down a dark path, culminating in a radical attempt to alter human consciousness through technology. So, yeah, it kind of reminded me of like a Sims game a little bit, and he ends up being obsessed with like this little community of these little cute things, and they have their own language. And then he has this like bummy ass friend who comes to stay with him. His name is Lump, and Lump gives him some drugs, and so he takes the drugs, and then he starts thinking that these little like thronglet things are like speaking to him, because they have their own kind of like language or whatever. It's like little noises. They're really cute. Then he thinks they're saying things to him, but he only hears them when he takes the drugs. So then he ends up basically becoming a full-on crackhead, at this point. And he ends up killing the guy Lump. Yeah, something like that. So that one's cool. And then there was another one called Eulogy, where Philip is invited to contribute memories for a digital memorial of his girlfriend, Carol. As he revisits their shared past through photographs, he confronts unresolved emotions and discovers hidden truths about their relationship, leading to a profound reckoning. I didn't really watch that one.
Did you fall asleep for that one?
I might have. Sophie, you're right. I definitely was in and out of the sleep on that one too. And then the USS Callister into Infinity, which is a sequel to the USS Callister episode, which is really good. So the digital crew navigates a perilous gaming universe filled with microtransactions and rogue players. Facing new threats, they must confront their creator's legacy and seek autonomy within the digital realm. That one's really good too. But I really liked the first two, and I really wanted to like Hotel Reverie with Issa, but I did not. But
The
overall,
first one left a stain on my soul. I'll just leave it at that.
look, so if you got okay, the other ones, just I hope you have a comfort blanket, a comfort teddy bear, something, because the other ones are gonna have you being like, why are we here? It's actually quite disturbing, I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this season definitely did give the feel of like the old Black Mirror, which is good. They're coming back for another season. There's so much material. This could keep going on forever and ever.
They can just read the news headlines.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it for that. Yeah. Art imitating life. Or is it life imitating art?
I don't know.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. So, y'all, I do not have any shady astrology this go around. It won't happen again. I'm gonna blame it on a retrograde or something as to why I don't
Is the
have.
retrograde still happening?
I don't think so. At least one of them
Mm,
is ending, but there's some
okay.
eclipse or something, some kind of pink moon or something that I wasn't paying attention to. So I'm gonna blame it on the pink moon.
Blame it on the moon. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you better
That's
do
my
a remix.
contribution.
You better do a remix. Ew. So we gonna come up with a mixtape, all right?
We
A
are.
mixtape.
Yes.
Y'all ain't ready.
I agree.
Yes. Well, y'all. Anything else you want to add, Soph?
Nope.
Well, if you like the vibe, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, y'all.